An absolute universal truth of recruiting is that every single hiring manager in the world ever wants a final candidate slate of 3 to 4 candidates. They want to go to the final interview with 3 or 4 qualified people who they can choose from. So how do you know if you're candidate A, the one who's most likely to get hired, or if maybe you're one of those candidates 3 or 4, the backup candidate who is mostly there for comparison, but doesn't really have a great shot of getting the role? In today's video, I'm going to tell you exactly how you can look at that and figure it out. That way you can make plans for yourself and not just sit there wondering, are they serious about me or are they not? Let's go. Now, the first way you can tell is you get that invite, the recruiter calls you, you get an email, HR calls you, and they say, hey, we want to bring you in for a final interview. And you are legitimately surprised. You weren't expecting it. You didn't think you did a good job. You didn't think you were as good as you could have been. And you look at it and you go, yeah, I just don't think they're going to pick me. And then you get invited. And you're like, what? Really? Me? You're going to bring me in? That's reason number one. Usually your gut is accurate, and if you feel you did great and you get invited, that's one thing. But if you feel like it didn't go well and then you get invited, well, odds are you might be considered a backup candidate who is there for comparison's sake only. Another way you can tell is in the way they communicate with you, right? So just say the recruiter calls you and they're like, hey Ben, I want to bring you in for final interview. When are you available? And maybe it won't be that pronounced, but you can tell. When I'm talking to a candidate who is great, I'm like, hey, excited to get you in here. How are you doing? Does this time work for you? What about this time? What about this time? And there's a general level of enthusiasm. If you can tell through the communication that maybe they're not enthused about you as a candidate, that might be another sign that you're there for comparison's sake only. Another great way to tell that you're actually just kind of a backup candidate is they keep stringing you along. So they email you and go, hey, we're gonna bring you in, but we're just trying to figure out some things. A week later, hey, still interested. We're just trying to, set up some things and figure out calendars and all that. And you feel like, wow, they say they're interested, but this is taking forever. Well, one of the things that could be happening there is they're trying to align it up with a preferred candidate's schedule. Or maybe they're like, yeah, we have this person, but we need more. I don't know if this is a hireable person, maybe, but we need more candidates. So they're going about interviewing and finding additional candidates so they can finally put you on the calendar. Once they have 2 to 3 other candidates they feel really good about. So if they're dragging it along, it's taking forever, they're still reaching out to you and saying, hey, we're gonna bring you in soon, but it doesn't feel like you were a priority, well, you might be there just for comparison's sake. Finally, this one is probably a little bit obvious, but it's one of the things that could definitely happen if you were that backup candidate. They tell you about other candidates. They're really like, oh yeah, we've got 3 or 4 other candidates. We just want to make sure we talk to them first, and then we'll schedule the on-site interviews. When I am talking with good candidates who are great, I would say something along the lines of more like, we just need to go through our process and our steps. Not, we're gonna be speaking with 4 other candidates, right? When they tell you about a bunch of other candidates, and maybe you can even hear some enthusiasm there, that is very different from them saying, hey, we're gonna schedule this soon. Is anything going on your end? Or they're like, yeah, we're gonna schedule it, but we've got 4 or 5 other people, and as soon as we talk to these 4, 5, 6 other people, then we'll figure it out. Those 2 things are very different. Now, the last reason, the absolute last thing that's gonna help you identify, are you a primary candidate or are you a backup candidate, is the length at which the recruiter goes to make sure nothing else is like going on for you, so that they might lose you. So where they go, hey Ben, what's changed since the last time we talked? Hey Ben, what other companies are you currently interviewing with? Hey Ben, where would you rank this company and this opportunity in comparison with your other ones? Okay Ben, tell me again, what were you looking for salary-wise? They're really checking in, they're really dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and making sure they're not gonna lose you. And everything is set up for when they finally do extend an offer. If you notice they do that frequently, then you probably know, okay, I'm a primary candidate. I'm someone they are legitimately very interested in. And if they don't, well, maybe not so much. If you've been in this situation before, you're probably very annoyed by it. Like, oh, great, I'm a backup candidate. This is annoying. Well, you're probably gonna watch this video then. This video is all about annoying things recruiters do. You're probably wondering, Ben, how long is this video? Is it an hour long? No, it's not. There are probably more things, but these are the top ones that come to mind.